Once again, I'd like to make the statement that we often learn something at school and we think we're never going to use it again in our lives. Well, if you do enter the field of electrical engineering, you are often going to make use of trigonometric equations. That's the sine, cosine, and tangent values. And I'd like to spend the next couple of minutes just refreshing your memory on this. These equations are based on a triangle, which is going to have two short sides joined together by a right angle. And then we're going to have the longest side. Now, we're going to refer to an angle theta. And theta could be where I've gone and put it, or it could be at the top right-hand side. It doesn't make a difference. Wherever you locate theta, it's going to be very important that you look at the sides based on that. The side right across the way from theta is always going to be known as the opposite. It is one of the shorter sides of the triangle. The short side that is right next to theta is going to be referred to as our adjacent angle. And then we are left with the long side, and that's going to be known as the hypotenuse. Now, many years ago, I was presenting this workshop, and one of the Australian delegates actually gave me a nice little rhyme to go and use. Many of you would possibly use something such as soccer toa and all the rest. The one that I like is that some old horses can always hear their owners approach. Some old horses can always hear their owners approach. And that is exactly what I have gone and typed down at the bottom of the screen. I've never forgotten that one. It works very nicely for me. Why are we going to go and use that? We'll have a look at the top part that we have. If I'm working with the sine of theta, S for the sine of theta is equal to the opposite over the hypotenuse. So let's go write that down as the opposite over the hypotenuse. Next one. Cosine of theta, or cos as I like to refer to it, the cosine of theta is calculated as the adjacent over the hypotenuse. And last but not least, the tangent of theta, or the tan of theta, is calculated as the opposite over the adjacent. And that's all that you need to remember. You remember that little phrase, and you should be able to recall any one of these formulas. Formulas which we are going to use extensively, especially if you're doing power calculations or if you're working with real and imaginary numbers. This is something that we're going to use quite often. So, just to conclude, just because we did it at school doesn't mean that it's no longer going to be important. We often are going to encounter many of those formulas later in life.